Hi, everybody. It's Lynn coming to you on this happy Friday afternoon, middle of August 2014, with just a few personal notes, especially for those of you who are experiencing some change and transition as you're working through the coaching program. I started to make this a posting in Facebook, but I decided to record it instead because I wanted to give a little bit more personal energy and connection with it because it's a really important topic. And I know we haven't been sharing a lot in the group yet, but I want to keep you guys focused and centered on what's going on by sharing my experiences, even if you don't want to share yours. So this one is in response to the posting I made a few days ago about this sciatica nerve issue that I'm having. This happened to me once before, about 5 years ago, I guess. It was the first time it ever happened. And for those of you who've never experienced sciatic nerve pain, it's pretty rough. I mean, it's one of those things where no position, standing, sitting, or lying down, is really comfortable. And unfortunately, sitting and lying down are the worst, which means you don't sleep at night because the pain can be pretty excruciating. And I've not found any painkillers to really address it. So you pretty much just have to deal with it. And it lasts a long time. This has been a week. Last time it was a couple of weeks. The only treatments that I know of are the doctors giving you steroid tablets. And it takes a while to take effect. But steroids are not good for you. And even after you've taken them, I found out after I had taken the treatments, and it did make me feel better, but for about 3 months I couldn't even donate blood. So I knew that was significant, and I'm really conscious of what goes into my body. I mean, taking acetaminophen for me is a major. So having that kind of chemical in my body was not what I wanted to do again. So I've been dealing with it, but I was also concerned about why it was coming up because things are much different than they were 5 years ago. And so, of course, I'm an energy healer and I believe in my EFT and Reiki. So I've been using it with some relief, but I didn't get the immediate relief that I thought or expected. So I knew there was something more behind it. So I've been working on it. And now I want to kind of give you some insights as to what I've come up with. So by going deeper and digging deeper into my own stuff, I realized two things. That the work I've been doing with you guys is breaking up my own stuff, which I've been sharing with you as we go along. But more than that, it's forcing me to do some of my own personal work. And I want to let you guys know that this is what this is all about. This is not a one-shot, you go through the class thing and then everything is, happily ever after. It's a process, and it does help you really break through some stuff, but this is serious business. So if you're taking it lightly and thinking, oh, it's going to be just a gloss over and she's going to tap me with the magic wand and everything's going to get better. No, this is you dealing with your stuff. This is opening up the door for you to take advantage of a wonderful healing opportunity to really do what you say you want to do. And so as much as it may seem lightweight to some of you, and maybe some of you have blown it off completely, I want you to know this is not lightweight. This is really heavy stuff. But by sharing with you what I'm doing, I also want you to understand that I have the experience and the knowledge and the background to see through what's going on. And like I'm helping myself, I can help you too. So if some of you are having experiences and you need help, let me know. Maybe we can arrange some coaching sessions where I can work with you on your issues and you can finally get through some of the stuff that's been holding you back. Now, this free coaching that I did with you, I'm going to be honest with you, the free coaching that I've given you all this time is worth, a couple of few $1,000s, but it was my gift of love. But if we need personal sessions, I will have to charge you for that time because it becomes very intensive. So don't be afraid of that, though, because once you clear all this stuff, it's going to be great, and it's worth every penny that you would spend to finally get your life back on track. So let's talk about what's going on with me for a minute here, okay? So I'm going to read the posting that I had written because I think it makes it more personal. Okay, yesterday I told you, as I posted the posting about what's going on, I told you a little about this challenge, and it's in my right hip and leg, which is my primary side. I'm right-handed, so that really kind of indicates that it's really a major issue because it's on the side that I use for everything. Okay. It's been pretty debilitating too because it keeps me from being able to sit at my computer for more than maybe, comfortably for more than maybe 15-20 minutes. And, sitting for hours like I used to do was like totally out of the question. So it's made me have to pull back on some of my DSD activities because I can't sit and do listings, and I can't do a lot of posting on Facebook and, communicating back and forth, because when I sit for too long, it really gets uncomfortable. Then of course I go lay down, and that's even worse. So and walking and being up and moving around is the best, but I can't go around just walking around in circles. So it's really been like a trip trying to figure this out. And it's been over a week now. It kind of started with the early twinges early last week, and I didn't really pay much attention to it because it was just little, twinges here and there. And then when it finally hit me last Wednesday and Wednesday night, it's been really serious ever since then. Not as bad as the last time, but bad. I mean, I've been taking pills and acetaminophen and stuff like that I can to try to alleviate the pain, and basically nothing has worked. The only thing that I found has been kind of helpful, surprisingly, pickle juice. Yep, pickle juice, because it's a good remedy for leg cramps. Athletes use it. They drink it when they're out on the field, like playing basketball and football. I kind of picked that up from watching Michael Strahan on TV one day. And so I found that pickle juice helps a lot with the leg cramps and the pain, but it's not a cure-all, but it does kind of help, And so I've been drinking a lot of pickle juice and using some other homeopathic as well as, chemical over-the-counter stuff. But here again, it's a process. So what this has caused me to do, when I did the tapping the other night, addressing the issue of the pain itself, it went away a little bit. It got better, which is what it's supposed to do, but it didn't go away, and that let me know there's something more behind this, because when you seriously tap on an issue and you use the process that the creator of EFT gives you, it really does work well. I mean, I've healed my depression and all kinds of other stuff with it, so I know it works. But because it wasn't giving me the relief and correcting the issue, I was like, okay, there's some more of what he calls aspects to this. So I had to go a little deeper, which is what I mentioned yesterday. And so as I'm realizing these truths, it's been quite an awakening, and this is why I decided maybe I should share this with you, because you guys might be experiencing something like this too. And if you're not experiencing it now, you may have experienced some of it in the past, and you need to understand what it is and how to recognize the indications that this is what's going on. Now, first I had to admit that what the basic cause was. And that is that I was feeling unsupported. I was feeling stuck and disconnected from my success and the kinds of things that are happening for other people in DSD. It was like in my face that it's not happening for me, so why? And then, of course, I'm human. I start having some feelings of insecurity and lack of confidence, and, things have been going on. I've been making progress in some areas, but there have been some setbacks and some adjustments too. And since I haven't had the great success I desired, and I was a successful person before, so this was really upsetting to me. This is kind of new stuff for me. I had always been able to decide to do something in the past and get it done, be successful, and it was always great. So in my later years, to have all this experience behind me and suddenly not be able to make things happen, it's been a real eye-opener, kind of like what's going on, experience. And since we had the event back in May, I've come back and really reset my focus and been doing more than ever to kind of make things work, and still haven't made the progress that I thought I should be making, okay, the way I envisioned it. But yet and still, when I think about it, I have made progress, as well as in other areas of my life. So the truth is, I'm doing very well, despite what my subconscious mind is telling me. I'm doing very well. So here's another issue. Okay, I do consulting, counseling, advising, whatever you want to call it, for another company. I'm an independent contractor with them, and I've been with them 3 years this month. Well, they had been adding hours, and I was, it's only part-time, so it's not like it's a lot of time per week, but I was working 14 hours a week, pretty much 2-3 hours a day, and I had been doing this for a long time. Well, right after I came back from the event, they cut my hours back. And although they only cut me back 2 hours a week, it was significant because it took a big chunk out of my income. Money that I had been putting into DSD and building on suddenly now is not there. And I kind of felt that it was unfair that they cut my hours, but what the manager, her strategy for what she was trying to do, really doesn't make sense. Their business doesn't support the strategy. She was telling me the reason why she cut my hours, but they hired some more people, so this was their way of creating more time to give to these other people. Whatever. I also felt that that was unfair to me and that I wasn't being supported by them because I'm one of their top people and most reliable and all of that, you know, and they call on me a lot to fill in for other people when they don't show up. So I kind of felt, well, that's not, you know, that's not fair to me. You're not treating me right. So again, I'm not being supported. Okay. And yet and still, even though my hours got cut back, I had, you know, with all that, I had to step back and re-strategize my approach to DSD so I could continue to make forward progress. But again, there's a positive in this. And the positive is that in cutting my hours back, I'm now only working 6 days a week instead of 7. And it freed up my Saturdays, where now I totally have Saturdays off, which is really cool. And it gives me more time to work on DSD and do other things that I'd like to do anyway. Another plus is that since I achieved the milestone that I told you guys about paying off this huge debt that I had, it cut my expenses. You know, saved me $150, couple of $100 a month. You know, so that was another major. So the truth is, I actually have more time and spendable income than I had before. So, you know, where's the conflict? It's where I'm getting to. So when I look deeper into the sciatica issue, I can see how it was connected to my fear of scarcity, lack, and limitation from things that have happened in the past few years. But since I'm so much better off now than I was back then, it kind of didn't make sense. It's like, well, what's up with this? Okay. However, as I looked deeper, I began to discover it wasn't really the scarcity and lack and limitation that brought this on, but more likely it was the fear of changes that are happening in my life, the shifting, because it's been significant. And it's like, what? Wait a minute, what's this? You know, what's up with that? In other words, I'm sabotaging myself. Okay? Subconsciously, I've created a block where there really wasn't one. Because somewhere deep inside in my subconscious mind, I'm afraid of having it really good again, of actually making that big breakthrough and really having the abundance and success that I deserve and desire. Truth is, maybe I'm afraid it won't last. Kind of crazy, huh? But yet it's very real to me, and it's real enough for me to create this physical manifestation of not being supported, of not being enough, of having this stop me event show up. So the truth is, I'm really about to step out of what had become my normal, my comfort zone, and back into a life of abundance, achievement, material success, and all things like that. Yeah, it's crazy, but I admit this to myself. As I admitted to myself, I felt a release of tension and stress in my back, my hip, and leg. In other words, I started to feel an improvement as I've been doing tapping and working on it. Energetically, it's improving. Okay, so that's a clue that I kind of tapped into the real underlying issue behind this. You see, the back, your hips and legs are the physical support systems that carry you through life. Any imbalances or fear-based feelings can cause your support system to break down. And that happens a lot when you're feeling afraid or isolated and alone, overwhelmed, or feeling like family and friends aren't there for you. And for a lot of people, that's why people have such, undiagnosed or unfocused back pain. It's really a feeling of fear and not being supported, or like being out of your comfort zone. So I hope this kind of makes sense for you, because you may be having similar experiences. Using the tapping sequences we are using in this class really begins to shake things up in your life, whether you realize how effective or intensive it really is. And as you begin to create your new life, you may find self-sabotaging issues coming up for you too. It can take the form of illnesses, body aches, headaches, panic attacks, or some other form. Whatever it is, it's just something that shows up that stops you in your tracks, perhaps just before you're about to break through. It can be a fear. You may even start telling yourself, oh, this is not working, or, whatever, impatience, whatever it does, whatever it is, it shows up as a showstopper. It can even take the form of relationship issues. Maybe your relationship with your partner suddenly goes into crisis. Your job gets crazy and distracts you. Maybe something happens with your kids, your siblings, or parents that takes your attention away from your projects. And so it can even be something happening with your house, your computer. We are energy beings, and we really, and I keep saying this, we really emote and project a lot of, energy out into the world. And so we can affect anything because everything is energy. But truth is, they are all distractions that are generated by deep-seated fears that rise to the surface just before you're about to step over the threshold and into the realization of your dreams and desires. But the point is, you got to keep going. You got to walk through these issues just like you walk through your fears. If you stay focused and keep working while you deal with the drama and distractions, you will prevail. Now, this is what successful people do. They know these things happen and they expect and prepare for them. So they make adjustments where necessary, but they keep going anyway. And sometimes family and friends get angry because they feel like you're not stopping what you're doing to deal with this crisis. But they know that if I stop and give in to the crisis, I lose the dream and the momentum. And so then everybody loses. So they maintain their focus and they just make adjustments and work it into what they're already doing because they know these things are going to happen. The truth is, these are simply expressions of your shadow side, and they are meant to test you, well, for lack of a better description. During this time, it really helps if you're journaling, because by writing your feelings and experiences down, you'll be able to see the real truth beneath everything. It'll give you the courage and clarity so you'll know what's really going on and you can see the truth and achieve the blessing that this situation has brought to you. Issues from your shadow side are very real, so don't knock it. They're painful. They can be, very profound, but they are real. We are very complex beings with many layers of stuff to work through. So when things in our lives have gone sideways, it means we got more stuff. And it simply means we have more clearing and healing to do. And it could be from this lifetime, and more often it's including stuff from previous lifetimes. And now, whether you believe in reincarnation or not, doesn't mean it's not true. It just means you don't believe in it right now. But that's okay. It's not necessary for you to believe it. Just deal with it. Deal with the layers, the onions, and keep peeling them until you finally get to the bottom of it. So don't lose this priceless opportunity to finally heal and clear what's happening within you by shying away from it or running from it. Instead, step up, step out, and embrace the blessing within the experiences, because once you clear them, they're gone forever. Then you'll be free to move forward and receive your reward. And best of all, you won't have to deal with them anymore. So I hope this helps you face your challenges and kind of get some clarity about what's really going on. So that whatever challenges you're facing, you can face them with a little more clarity, confidence, and courage. They're actually here to help you. Just like mine is helping me dig into this, wellspring of blessings that are coming through these challenges. So use the challenges or whatever comes up in your life. Use it as the tools they're meant to be. I know you're strong. I know you're capable, and I know you can do it. So we're in this together. You're not alone. Ask me for help wherever, and I'll step up and help you wherever I can. That's what I'm doing by sharing the things that are going on with me to kind of help shed some light on the situation and remind you that we are all in this together, that there's no reason for you to go through this alone and lose your dreams because of fear and insecurity or facing the unknown or the unidentifiable challenges that step up to present you with the opportunity to break through. Okay? So love and hugs from your coach. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you soon.